Hi, this is Glizel Jane Parrot from BSED 1B. And now we will talk about Sigmund Freud, the psychoanalytic theory. Sigmund Freud was an Austrian neurologist and the founder of psychoanalysis, a clinical method for treating psychopathology through dialogue between a patient and the psychoanalyst. Freud was born to Galician Jewish parents in the Moravian town of Freiburg in the Austrian Empire. There are three levels of consciousness according to Sigmund Freud. The first one is unconscious, outside of your awareness at all times. Preconscious, all information that you are not currently aware of but that can be recalled. And then the last one is conscious, your current state of awareness. Freud divided human consciousness into three levels of awareness: the conscious, preconscious, and the unconscious. Each of these levels corresponds to and overlaps with Freud's ideas of the id, ego, and superego. Freud's structure of personality. Let's talk about the id, the ego, and the superego, the three parts of the structure of personality and the theory that was developed by Sigmund Freud. He is probably someone you've heard of. He's pretty famous psychologist from the late 19th, early 20th centuries. While this theory of personality is outdated, it was monumental in influencing how we think about personality today. This is the idea of eternal conflict. It's the conflict between basic desires, the id, morality and being a good person, the superego, and consciousness, the ego. So first, let's start with the id. This is an unconscious part of your personality, as it is basically the childish and impulsive part of you that just does what it wants. And it wants things really intensely and doesn't really think about the consequences. Freud describes this as operating on a pleasure principle, which essentially means what it sounds like, which is that it's always seeking to try to increase pleasure and decrease pain. As an example of this, let's say you come home and you find to your delight that your roommate has baked a cake. Your id would think, "Oh, I want that cake right now. That's look delicious." You know your roommate's not going to be happy if you eat it. So first you eat a little piece of the corner and then you have to cut yourself a slice so it doesn't look disgusting. And then soon enough you've eaten the whole thing. It's gone. How did you manage to eat the whole cake? Blame your id for taking over. That's what your id aims to do in life. We usually don't eat whole cake and lay on the couch all day every day. What helps to control the rampaging id? There is another part of your personality that's mainly unconscious, and it's the superego. The superego is that part of you that's super judgmental and moralizing and is always trying to get you to behave in a socially appropriate way. Now let's see what the superego would do if you come home and you find the cake. You do now. If your superego is in control again, you would certainly go jogging, but you would also apologize to your roommate and bake them a new cake, maybe in a better one than before. The superego controls our sense of right and wrong. We feel bad when we do things what are wrong, and we feel good things when we do things are right, and that's what the superego controls. Ego mediates between the id and the superego. The id is trying to get you to do things like eat cakes and not go jogging, and the superego is trying to get you to make good decisions and be an upstanding person, and the ego operates in something that's called the reality principle. The reality principle, the idea that desires of the id must be satisfied in a method that is both socially appropriate and realistic. Again, this is Glizel Jane Parrot from BSED 1.